Not long ago, on the Databits channel, I reviewed a fantastic piece of equipment, and at the end of that video I said, hey, coming up soon, I am going to share with you a discovery so big that it's going to change your life. That's right. And in fact, it wasn't from Egypt. It wasn't found in the depths of the water outside Egypt. It wasn't a buried civilization. No, it was something that you would probably think was cooler than that. Yes, my friends, I am talking about a glass master LaserDisc, a very thick glass master LaserDisc that was used to print other LaserDiscs. And as you can see here, it's got all the data already on it. It's got a little number there on the inside, 32031, and somewhere in the middle here it says made or mastered by Imation. The question is, can this disc be played on a standard LaserDisc player? Well, at first glance, you would probably say no, and here's why. Well, LaserDiscs aren't over 12 inches in diameter. This glass disc is. Let me show you. If I take a 12-inch disc and put it in the middle, you can see just how much space we have hanging off the end here. So there would be no way that you could take this glass disc and put it in a standard LaserDisc tray. There just isn't a slot for it. What would be required would be to modify a LaserDisc player to accommodate this large disc. And that's exactly what I have here today. Over here to my left is a LaserDisc player made by Zenith that I have removed a lot of the hardware on. You can see a lot of it laying around here. All this hardware has been removed to produce an experiment of playing a glass LaserDisc on a standard LaserDisc player. This is a Zenith, as I just said, and it's a very interesting model. I'll tell you what the model number is here shortly, but this thing is really unique in its styling. I had never seen one like it. So we are going to put that glass LaserDisc on this spindle right here, and we're going to see if it will play. So stay tuned. Our player that we're using for this Frankenstein experiment is a Zenith LDP510 dating back to 1991. I found this at an antique mall and only paid $10 for it, and it was kind of sold as is. And apparently whoever owned it before, it looks like it was owned by a school based on the sticker that I found on it, apparently somebody had shoved the drawer in a little bit too hard and basically messed up the synchronization of all these gears and such in here. So with a little bit of fancy handwork, I can get it to function and actually read a CD or a disc. Problem is that it does not want to eject or open the drawer at all. So I had to fiddle with all of this stuff in here to the point where it finally did something respectable, as a LaserDisc player should be respectable, right? So it won't go, this particular part won't go back all the way where it's supposed to be. So I have to hold it up. There's a little switch down there that indicates that. And then I can reach around the front, hit the eject. Now that we know that the machine will in fact play a disc and will read a disc, it is time to put the iMation glass LaserDisc master into the machine. Now the interesting thing about this configuration is that one side appears to be closer to the surface than the other, as far as like whether the printing is like on one side or the other. So my guess is that the printing is on the opposite side, especially since the numbers are read this way. Turn them around so you can see them a little bit better there. So we know that it's going to go in this way, so let's slip it into the machine like this. All right. Now we're going to need to do something with the spacing in there to make sure that there is enough space to keep it centered. So I've placed some little pieces of two-sided tape here in the center just to keep things centered. And you'll notice the disc is sticking out the front here through the slot. So let's go ahead and power her on and see what happens. Okay, so I need to hit eject and then hit eject again. Alright, and we can see that the LaserDisc player is looking very, very diligently for a disc, and it does not see one. So what does it do? It goes back to its little resting spot and lowers the spindle in the center. So let's try it again. Maybe we missed something. So let's hit the eject, hit it again. It lifts up the glass disc, it looks to see if there's anything there. See the laser pulsing right there. Alright, once again, nothing. So let's do this. Let's actually place a real LaserDisc on top of this one and see if it sees the reflectivity of a real LaserDisc, and then we'll see if it'll take off. Alright, hitting eject again. And once again, we don't see anything. All right, yes, it is raining here at the DataBit Studio. What if we actually place a real 12-inch LaserDisc on top of this one? Okay. Hit eject again. Let's see if anything is detected now. And unfortunately, we are not getting any signal at all. The machine says there is nothing there. I can't play something I can't see. So obviously there's reflectivity involved. It needs to see a reflection of from the feedback of the laser. And apparently even having a LaserDisc on there is too high up because of the thickness of our sample. What if we were to flip the disc over to the other side? So let's try that. We'll put it with the number side down, and we'll put the disc in upside down. You can see all the flaws in it this way. Okay, go ahead and hit our eject. We'll see if we detect anything on this side. We do not. This recordable disc, this master disc, is not going to play. I would say the only thing that we could do to get it to play would be to slice this glass disc in such a way so that the thickness would be thinner and there would be a layer of reflectivity underneath it that would help highlight what is happening there. Now let's do something really crazy. Let's see if we can put this LaserDisc player back together. Ready? Here we go. Well, she's all back together now, and I thought you guys might want to see what this LaserDisc player looks like with all of its parts back in place. It's actually a rather attractive looking LaserDisc player. And again, the styling is quite different. It made me think of an RCA when I first saw it, but it is not an RCA, at least what I can tell. And as far as what's on the screen, when you first turn it on, you get to see that. Now, one other interesting thing happened when I was putting this back together that I did not expect. Once everything was in place, the last thing I did was turn it off, and then I just shoved the drawer back in there. All right, just literally just shoved it back into place. Now let's see if we can actually put a disc in. So I've got this CD here. Let's go ahead and hit the eject button. Look at that. Now let's go ahead and place the disc in the center and close her up and see if she'll play it. Oh, and there it goes. It's playing it.
Everything you've heard before has just become obsolete. And
yes.
the CD.
Alright, so we know that will play. Now let's try a video disc. And in this case, we will use that karaoke disc that we saw earlier. Side 2, Chapter 0. And now we'll take a look and see what it looks like to play a warped LaserDisc. So this disc is warped quite a bit. Let's watch and see what happens when we try to play it. Even this not so awesome player is going to play it. I want to leave you guys with one final thought regarding the repair of this particular Zenith LaserDisc player. If you purchase one of these and you turn the power on and you press eject and nothing happens, it acts like it completely ignores you, which it is at this point, but nothing on the screen here indicates anything is even being received by the microprocessor. Well, there are two things that were modifications that I needed to do to this LaserDisc player. One of which is that this carriage needs to be pushed all the way to the back in order for the eject to occur. Notice I just pushed it backward and now we are ejecting. The reason for that is because there is a little tiny switch right here shown on the left of your screen. If that switch does not activate with the carriage returning, see there, then the machine will not do what it's supposed to do. The second thing I did to modify this one is that there's this piece right here. And this particular piece, I pulled it completely out of the way. And what it does is it's supposed to do what I am manually doing, which is it's supposed to lock the carriage into its resting place right here at the end. And for some reason, this was actually preventing most of the stuff that this was supposed to be doing from happening. So I just moved it out of the way. As you can see, it's right here. It's not broken. It could still be put into place. There was a spring attached to it. You can see it right there by my thumb. The other place that it attaches is now where my thumb is. So it went from here to there, but this was up here once it was swung around. So again, you got that piece, and then you've got that switch back there. And again, those are the two things you need to watch out for. And of course, with that not being switched into place, this part, then it could be that this switch here is not getting its signal. I did bend it a little bit to kind of pull it forward. But all right, well, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Share it with at least 300 of your best friends. Leave a comment below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out some of my other amazingly awesome LaserDisc videos as well. And we'll see you next time.